Hello, CEP 200 students, and welcome to Unit 5. We are almost done. I didn't realize that this weekend is already Halloween and next week is already November. So we don't really have that much time left. After Unit 5, we have Unit 6. You will have a week off for fall recess. And then we will do the conclusion unit. But please keep in mind that your advocacy paper is due in Unit 6. So your advocacy paper is going to be due before Thanksgiving. So if you haven't started that, or if you have any lingering questions or comments or anything like that, please reach out to me. So Unit 4, everything got graded last night. Unit 3 got graded last night. Unit 4 will be graded by the end of this unit, so November 7th. For Unit 3, everyone seemed to do a pretty good job for the most part. So unit assignment 3 looked good. Most of the journal reflections looked good. It really seems like most students in the class had a general idea of what advocacy is. A couple of people did mention that they didn't know what it was before the assignment, but did some research and felt that they had a pretty good understanding after. Fantastic. I think the only people who didn't get credit were those who put the wrong prompt or journal in the Dropbox. So you will also notice, if you haven't checked or maybe you're not paying attention, Quiz 2, your grade that you initially had may have gone up. So I did go through and manually grade these. And for the multiple answer ones, it was giving everyone 0 points for credit, even if you had answered some of them correctly. So I did go back and give you partial credit if applicable. The other element to Unit 3 was the topic of the advocacy paper, which those were all graded within the first week of the unit. So mostly everyone looked pretty good with that. If there was comments or you didn't get full credit, make sure you just take a look at that before you start doing your research and writing your paper. So for Unit 5, this is the Getting Creative unit. So for this unit, we are going to be talking about counselors and the expressive arts, which are essentially like your creative art therapists. They do go by a different name than both of those that I just mentioned, because this is also on your quiz. Hey, stop. We are also going to talk about organizational counselors as well as pastoral counselors. So organizational counselors are really interesting just because they're not like your typical counselor in the helping profession. They work a little bit different. They kind of are similar to people who you might find in like the HR department. They take a look at, they work under organizations, take a look at employee retention, stuff like that. So you'll learn a little bit more about that. And then pastoral counselors are like your faith-based counselors. So you'll learn a little bit more about them in your material as well. So for Unit 5, you're going to watch this video. You are going to read chapter 7, 9, and 10. There is a video on organizational counseling, and it's going to feel like this is being like drilled into your head during this unit. But it's because in the past, a lot of students didn't really go through the material good enough and like did not have a pretty good understanding of what organizational counselors are, kind of like the same issue that I had mentioned about the rehabilitation counselors in a previous unit. So you're going to watch that video, you're going to read a supplemental article, you are going to do the Unit 5 assignment, the journal reflection number 3, and then quiz number 3. So what I'm doing right now is I am opening up the quiz because, as always, I want to give you guys a little bit of help as you are watching the unit video. So 2 questions I have. So this quiz is 10 questions long, and 2 of the ones that I noticed that people really struggled with the most in previous years. The first one is a multiple choice question. Question is, counselors in expressive arts may also be categorized as, they are also categorized as recreational therapists. So creative therapists, expressive therapists, art therapists, you might have heard art therapists in the past, but recreational therapists is what is mentioned specifically in your text. So that is why that is the right answer. The other question is another multiple choice question. And the question is, according to Helkowski, the average median income for pastoral counselors in 2016 was. So the answer to this is none of the above. So I know that they mention a salary of some sort in the textbook, but it explicitly mentions that they were unable to collect the data or something along those lines. So the answer to that is none of the above. So please keep that in mind when you're going through the quiz. Those are the two questions for you. So when we are taking a look at the journal entries, again, this journal, like I mentioned, the unit's going to get a little bit repetitive as far as like really ingraining the information in your head. The reflection question is, what makes organizational counselors so different from other counseling professionals? I knew what the prompt was when I started this video, so I gave you a little bit of an idea of why they are different from the other helping professionals. So really take that and expand on it. And discuss why they are different and talk a little bit more about their duties and stuff. The information is in your textbook, and it will also be in that organizational counseling YouTube video. So, that is pretty much it. Again, if you guys have any questions or you can't find any like information or material, instead of leaving something blank or trying to like wing it, please just email me. I know I do have a couple of emails in my inbox right now from people last night who needed extensions or were having difficulties with submitting their assignments. I will get to those, but I generally answer your emails within 24 to 48 hours. Sometimes it's almost immediate. So please don't just try to wing it. Let me help you if you need it. Other than that, that is pretty much all I wanted to talk about today. So let me know if you need anything, and I will see you guys again on November 8th.